Hello, and welcome everybody to the Thank You for Playing podcast, where we talk about gaming news, anything new, and fun. I'm Toro34, and I'm joined by my boy Lambo and the mighty BLJ.
Yep.
Into it, you know what I'm saying?
So thanks for that legendary intro.
Oh yeah, you know me.
Oh yeah.
Had to give credit
How y'all
where it's
been?
due. I'm all right, man. You know me. I'm thugging it out. Good to be on the pod once again. You know,
Yeah.
people don't see, but behind the scenes, you know, we suit up. We be in the locker room talking it out, and then we put our game day visors on, sit in the VR chair, and here we are. You know, so I'm pumped up and ready to go.
Good.
Hell yeah.
Myself, today I actually went to a horror convention. Very, very small convention, but
A horror convention?
yeah. So anything horror related, artwork. They had like actors there. None that I knew of. Some were small town, some were big. I didn't know them, but I went there because a friend of mine asked me to do a Halloween themed commission for him, and he pretty much just gave me the freedom to do whatever I wanted to do. And I was like, all right, well, just give me an idea and I just come up with something. He told me to do a Frankenstein, so I drew him a Frankenstein in my style of artwork. So I drew him that, and then basically he took it to the show, and then he was selling like prints of it or whatever. But he invited me to come to the show and like sit at his spot with him, and then sign any print of mine that was sold. So it's kind of like one of those things like, hey, you can buy this print. The artist is here that did this particular picture or whatever, and he can sign it for you. Almost like
Was that the
what's up?
Was that the dude selling the buttons?
Yeah. My guy Ken's Buttons. He goes to a lot of these different types of conventions, and he sells buttons.
Shout out to Ken.
Yep.
Ken's
Ken's Buttons. But
Ken's buttons.
yeah, really, really good guy. I've known him since I started doing conventions and stuff myself a couple years ago. But he invited me to sit down with him and do that. So that was a good time. So that's what I did today, and that was a pretty good time. So that's what I did. So I'm feeling pretty good, feeling pretty juiced up. You know what I mean?
That's what's
super
up.
juiced up. Let me tell you what I've been doing.
Okay.
What you been doing?
Man, your boy been, besides thinking about life and how I can escape the financial chains, so I can be financially free, burden free. I actually sat down and started playing this game, and it's controversy because it stars 4 heroes, and as of now you can only play with 2, and it's some other issue to where the game runs in 30 FPS instead of 60 FPS. And the game I'm referring to is Gotham Knights. So let me tell you about my experience with Gotham Knights. I got to say it all epic.
Tell us. Give us the review.
Man, I am about maybe 12, 13 hours in, and I'm enjoying the game.
Okay.
I feel that people, I like to say this, but I feel like people are reaching at the bottom of the jar as to reasons why they don't like it. Batman is dead. I hate to say this. I know, whoa, spoilers, but it's not spoilers, because if you watch any trailer, they explain to you that Bruce Wayne got bodied, and bodied he did get. Boy, he super dead. Like, he dead, but,
not Superman dead.
He's so dead. He make dead people look not dead.
Yeah, there you go. So once you witness the legendary Bruce Wayne's death, R.I.P. to Bruce Wayne. Once you see that and realize you're not gonna play as Bruce Wayne, I'm not real big into Batman. I know some of the lore, but his world, it never, interested me to where I sit down and just, get absorbed by it. But some of his proteges, I think it might be everyone that he ever had that was under his tutelage. But you have the original Robin, Dick Grayson. He's now known as Nightwing, badass with the Kaylee sticks. We also have the second Robin, who met a tragic end to Jack Napier, hoe-ass Joker, Jason Todd. Then apparently he died and Batman was guilty. And somehow, I don't know the lore. I'm missing the pages.
I can fill you in on that one.
All right. Well, give me just a second. But he got brought to this magic pit, Lazarus pit, and it resurrected him. And when he woke up, he wasn't himself. And he went around,
you already know.
Yeah, his own brand of justice. And he was actually killing people. But happy ending. Batman and family got to him and helped him, change his ways. And now he uses non-lethal methods. So he has I don't know what type of bullets he has in his heaters, but they don't kill. They're non-lethal rounds. So moving on, we have the lovely Miss Barbara Gordon, Batgirl. I think she looks pretty good. She's one of the characters that I'm playing the most right now. She uses a tonfa and it comes apart and she swings it like nunchaku. So that's pretty cool. She has a cool moveset. But her story, from what I understand, is they change it up, but she was paralyzed for a while. That same hoe-ass Joker, Jack Napier, man, I can't stand him. He shoots her in the lower back and paralyzes her. And while she's paralyzed, she becomes Batman's informant. Oracle, right? Is it the Oracle or Oracle? I'm just going to say Oracle. But in this game, this game later on down the line, through therapy, she's able to regain function in her legs and lower back, and she makes a recovery. And now she wants to protect the streets of Gotham once more. And then last but certainly not least, this is the other cool dude that I've been playing. It's between him and Barbara. We have Tim Drake, and he's the current Robin number 3. And he was serving as Robin when Bruce Wayne met his untimely end. And he uses a bow staff. And I use him as well. He's the little stealth guy, and he has all these cool Donatello moves. And Donatello is notorious for being the best turtle in every turtle game. So I saw young Tim Drake with the bow staff, and I was like, man, I'm finna play with Robin because I know he got Donatello's bow staff. He gonna outshine everybody. But everybody in this game seems well-rounded. So sorry about that lengthy intro to the game, but I want to say that I'm enjoying it. Sometimes I feel like it's unfair. I have a video of me fighting a boss fight, and there's 3 phases to the fight, and it's very stressful. You have to disarm bombs all while fighting off these 2 huge brutes. That's the last phase. But you fight these brutes, and they have a ton of health, and then you have this little goon running around with Resident Evil style first aid spray, and they'll spray the boss and give him his health back, all while you fighting off other goons, and you have to run around and disarm bombs. And you'll try not to get blew up by them throwing Molotov cocktails. It's chaotic and it's crazy. And that boss fight probably took me about 20 minutes. And I was pretty leveled. So that game has its challenges. It's an open sandbox game. It's kind of like the Spider-Man games. You stop random crimes in Gotham City. It can be repetitive, but that doesn't bother me. Someone said that the combat,
kind of like the Arkham series with the open world.
Yes. Someone said the combat feels flat and stale. I think they're being a little unfair. You do have your basic button combo, but the more you level up, you gain new moves and abilities. And one cool thing, what people know about me, transmogrification, it's a big deal in games where you can make one costume look like another costume. You're free to express yourself and wear the costume that you desire. In this game, the Knights, as they're called, they have all these cool customization options. And here, I'm going to take you through some of Nightwing's customizations here.
Okay.
So you
Because
can see
Nightwing is
me.
best boy.
Oh, yeah. You can see me going through Nightwing's customizations right here. They're pretty cool. A lot of them are locked. I don't have access to them, but there's special challenges and things you can do to unlock them. And it's not just his costumes. You can customize his mask. You can customize his, his symbol. And here, finally, you can customize his, I think it's his boots and his gloves. So they let you customize and express yourself, and you get to link up with another player. Right now, currently, it's only 2 players. But later on this month, they're gonna have a whoa. Let's give them a chance to shine. Later on, they're gonna have a heroic assault mode where it's 4 players, and you can all kick the snot out of Gotham thugs and
Is it like a thing where it's like a wave of enemies come and you just go through the levels type thing?
I think so, but I think you also have objectives. And here I am with the gaming developer shield. I'm going to protect them because a lot of people were giving them shit, talking about it's 30 frames per second. It's unacceptable. There are going to be 4 players at once. Being a Dynasty Warriors veteran and Dynasty Warriors legendary hero, back in the gap on PS2, when it was like 50 enemies on the screen, that mug would get super choppy. But I still had stars and hearts in my eyes. This is the greatest game I ever played in my life. But, you got entitled people now. This is unacceptable. I want my money back. So they don't want to hear that, right? So they went to a middle ground, and it runs at 30 FPS, which is just fine. It runs great to me, and it looks great. So as long as they get this heroic assault mode right, and 4 players are on the screen, and they're not warping around, and the game is not choppy, then we're good. And I really hope
here's where
this
I'm going
game
to push back a little
succeeds. Oh, go ahead. What's up? What you got?
We don't have the technical limitations that we had on PS2 when you were playing Dynasty Warriors.
Oh yeah, I totally understand that.
We have had games with Mag on PS3 was a game at 256 players in a match at once.
Wow.
And was still running at 30 frames. There's no real reason, especially with the budget that Warner Brothers has, for it to not be able to go to 60.
So here's where I push back. Now, we don't know what their budget was. There's no reason that Soul Calibur 6 should not have got the same 10 to 11 care that Tekken 7 got, and we didn't get it. So we don't know what their budget was. And we also have to realize that Gotham City in this game is huge. And they're making it to where all 4 players can explore different areas of the city at once together. So I totally understand why that's
that should be easy to do when you have each individual's console doing a lot of the processing work for you.
But are you sure that all 4 of them don't have to keep track of what they're doing somewhat?
So yeah, it will. You will have to have data packets that are being sent to the host console. But as far as the rendering of the individual area where each player is, even if all 4 players are in different corners of the map, each player's console should be the one responsible for rendering where they are. And the data packets that are sent to the host should consist of largely location data in terms of like XYZ coordinates and also button input data. So that's why, like, I don't really buy that they had to put this game at 30 frames. I really think that, and I don't even know that I agree with this assessment. I really think that it was because it was originally designed for PS4 that it was originally put to 30 frames. But on new generation consoles, as powerful as they are, and we've seen how powerful the PS5 and the Series S are, or Series X, whatever it's called, there's not really any legitimate reason why they shouldn't be able to run at 60 frames a second. There's not. Outside of just not having a budget, and that budget would have to be pretty low.
I don't know.
But as much as they seem to be pushing this game to be the next Arkham series, like the start of the next chapter of Arkham games, I really don't think they have a low budget.
I don't know, man. The way I see it, if it was easy as making a sandwich, then they would have done it. But I'm not there. I'm not looking over their shoulders, breathing all hard. They just didn't want to
spend the money.
Yeah, it could be that too. Maybe they're just testing.
Yeah, that's something I've always wondered myself, because a lot of people complain about, newer games being capped at 30 frames per second. But there's a part of me that feels like, well, it must not be that easy just to make everything 60 frames if they keep doing it. You know what I mean? Like,
it's certainly not. Yeah, it's not as easy as flipping a switch. It does take work to make it happen. And that's what I'm saying is, like, with Warner Brothers, and the fact that it seems like this is the next chapter of the Arkham games, and then also looking at how much they seem to be spending on marketing, because I see ads for that game everywhere. I definitely feel like they had the budget and they just didn't want to spend the budget. Either that, or most of the work was already done on previous generations, and it would just take more money and effort than what they were willing to do to bump it up to 60 once they moved it to the new generation. That's really what I think is the big holdup, is that it was originally designed for previous gen, and when they decided to port it to new gen, they just almost did a 1-for-1 port.
Right. Yeah, some I've always wondered about, but I'm not in the developing spaces to really know what's happening, so I just get the games that I want when they come out, and hopefully they don't, stay super choppy. Hopefully they run fluidly. That's all I really want,
Yeah. Which I know frame rate isn't everybody's focus. I prefer frame rate to be more steady over graphical quality. So that's why I am kind of interested in my games running at 60 frames at least.
Not me. Team resolution over here, my dude. You know how they say, would you like
more
it
concerned
in
with the higher res?
Oh yeah, man. I got to see Batgirl in 4K, shimmering 4K resolution. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that. So what's the two different modes? Performance mode and
graphics mode?
Yeah, graphics mode. I am not graphics enthusiast. Like, I'm not gonna go back to Metal Gear Solid 1 on PS1 and be ew. That's one of my favorite games. But I love, once they say, hey man, check out this PS5 title, all sparkly and crisp. The frames might not be 60, but what you think? Just like Ghost of Tsushima, love that game. That did not run at 30 for me. I think you could make it run 60. But I chose graphics mode on Ghost of Tsushima and had a hell of a time. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's see, because I am pretty sure that the Demon Souls remake on PS5 ran at 60. And I believe that, you could have 4 players in the world at a time. It does have a performance mode that runs at 60 FPS. So,
okay. But
and
see,
that
what
had
I'm
4 players in the world, and you could be in
much
different parts. Which, granted, the world in Gotham Knights is a lot bigger.
I was going to say, that's what I was going to say. It's all kind of stuff in that world.
Yeah.
Cars going by, people talking to each other on the street, blah, 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 But like I said, that's just me standing in front of the developers with the developer shield. But the joke could be on me. They could be throwing tomatoes at me while I'm shielding them, talking about, we could have did it. We just didn't feel like it. So I don't know,
And then Elden Ring was the same. Elden Ring runs 45 to 60 frames with 4 players in the world. Maybe even, can you get 5 players in the world? I know you can at least get 4.
Yeah. Well, we spent quite a deal on my.
Yeah, this is all pure speculation. So
yeah, and it just started off with me saying I'm playing Gotham Knights, but I'm a pack this up and say that I'm enjoying the game, the story. It's an interesting story, and it's a lot of freedom in what you can do. Just some of the missions, they're side missions. They can be repetitive. We actually talked about that on open world games. I think we talked about it, the open world games with the cheats or something like that, when I was saying the missions could be repetitive. Remember, we were talking about that? This is another instance of that.
Missions.
And these are optional missions, but I was like, damn, I just stopped this armed robbery, and then these fools just saw me put the beats on them across the street. Now these fools is brave trying to break into that armed truck. I had to go put the beats on them too.
The beats!
All right, y'all, Batgirl's gone. Let's get the other one.
Yep. But I done gave plenty of them lesson in SmackDown, you know, and I'm enjoying it. I'm not burnt out yet. Like it's really cool.
Ultimately, that's what's important, is that you're enjoying it and having fun.
Oh yeah, just like our other episode. Man, I got the Lore Master's emblem is glowing, but story or gameplay? Is story or gameplay more important? And I'm definitely being drawn in by the story. It's a nice story. So I'm going to throw it to you, Lambo, because me and BLJ said what we were doing. I'm going to let you give us I don't know if you're going to introduce us to a topic or what, but I feel like I've been standing on my soapbox for a while talking about Gotham Knights and frame rate, so I'm going to give it to you.
Man, all I've been doing is playing, I've been back on Warframe again. Ever since we talked about it a few episodes back, I went and got some footage for it, and I got hooked on it again. And so
Space Ninjas!
Yep, I've been Space Ninja-ing it up.
Interesting.
Trying to catch up to all the content I've missed since I haven't played it in about 2 or 3 years, and I am way behind, so... That's what I've been doing. Me and a buddy of mine been jumping on there every now and then and trying to catch up.
Yeah. Another thing, man, I said I was going to jump out, but I'm jumping back in because I remember you telling me earlier, early on in the timeline, that you wanted to give my opinion on something. And I feel like we are definitely late to this subject, but we wanted to talk about briefly. And to our listeners, here I go. I just said last episode I felt like I was scolding people, but I'm a turn into serious Toro 34 this episode. We're talking about Miss Helena Taylor and her Bayonetta. I'm going to call it the Bayonetta meltdown, because I felt really bad for her, because Twitter is going to push that shit to the front. They did her wrong. She's underpaid, underutilized. They're destroying her legacy. And she gets on here and she tells her about her mental health woes. She tells us about her financial woes. Said, what are they going to do? Take the clothes off my back. And she has a lot of people rallying behind her. And she even asked them to boycott the game. And then she attacks Bayonetta 3.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
I believe that's the newest one that's coming out. And she also goes on to I don't want to say attack, because attack is a strong word, but she basically gets on to the new Bayonetta voice actor, Miss Jennifer Hale, who's a titan in the voice acting industry in her own right. Man, she voiced Phoenix from MVC3, and Phoenix was pretty hot in that game, literally.
See what she did there?
She voiced Chronica in Mortal Kombat 11. I'm trying to think of what else she voiced, because I'm drawing a blank all of a sudden now. But you hear Jennifer Hale
just letting your fans down right now.
I know, right? Usually
you're supposed to be on point.
Man, I am. But to be fair, I haven't heard Jennifer Hale's work in quite a while, and I'll go back and look, and I'll be like, "Damn, how did I not know that?" But she is a titan. She's up there. So
because Chronica's a titan, I get it.
Oh yeah, for sure. But she basically, going back to Miss Helena Taylor now, Miss Taylor or Mrs. Taylor, I don't know if she's married, but she goes to tell Jennifer that you don't have the right to call yourself Bayonetta. Don't sign any merchandise. I can't remember what else she told her, but basically she doesn't have the right. And I think that's I understand her anger and frustration, but I do think that's disrespectful. You know, like basically she's saying you shouldn't have accepted that role. That role is mine and mine alone. Newsflash, I can't think of a video game character whose original character, voice actor is still there. Hell, we were just talking about the Mario movie last week where the icon Mario is being replaced in the movie, at least. So I just think she had a meltdown. I really think that she put her foot in her mouth because from what I heard, she broke an NDA. Like she
broke her NDA. She's not working as a voice actress anymore. No one's gonna hire her now.
And I'm hoping, again, to our listeners, I am an aspiring voice actor. That's why these episodes, you'll hear me change it up, out of nowhere like this. This is what I love to do. So I'm just saying, when I finally step in the frame, when the mighty Toro finally comes out of the gates, I hope that my progress isn't pushed back and these clients don't view us as delusional or unworthy or something like that, because I want to be able to negotiate my pay as well once I have enough weight, under my belt. And I'm not against her. From what I hear, she was spewing out false information. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm disappointed in her or anything. I'm in the gray area, but it saddens me a bit that she went through those lengths to get on Twitter and, misconstrue that information in front of all of these people, myself included. I don't know what the objective was in regards to that. You know what I mean? And some ninja, maybe it's one of those space ninjas that you was playing, but some ninja came out of nowhere and leaked the agreement, and that's what exposed her, that she was being untruthful. And that's when the shit really hit the fan. And I don't know, I don't check Twitter like that, even though we have a TYFP tweets. I'm very sorry that we advertised it. I'm going to do better, but I'm sorry we advertised it. And you're like, hey, there's nothing here. It's a ghost town. That's my fault. The Mighty Toro's fault. I should be updating.
Gotta get on it.
But but I don't check Twitter like that. I don't patrol Twitter. So I don't know if she's issued an apology. An apology would be a damn good start, but I still don't know her reasoning.
As far as I know, she hasn't issued any kind of apology. She's still sticking to her guns.
Well, that'd be crazy if we're still being led down a rabbit hole. But one thing I do want to say is she brought up mental health. That's a tender subject. If she is going through a mental health crisis, I hope she gets the help she needs, like immediately. Like, I don't think she should weather the storm. I won't say in the tweet that she looked distressed, but she looked defeated. She looked crushed. I don't know the reason behind that. That's not none of my business unless she decides to share that. But in a voice actor's point of view, I do realize that as epic as I think I am, if I am awarded work and I do said work and I bring a character to life, deep down I know that I could be replaced at any time. That's why with each line, each monologue, I must deliver it with utmost efficiency. Perfect 10. Okay, I know for that, but you get my gist. So that's my take on that.
What higher again?
Yeah, 10 out of 10. Yeah, but yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Yeah, I know, right? We're gonna get there. So that's my opinion on that. I didn't want to sit there on that too long.
Yeah, so, that's definitely the Cliff Notes version, because we definitely don't have the time to do a proper deep dive into that story. There's a lot more to that story. A lot of things that she said that don't quite add up and just kind of are throwing off some red flags, but then also a lot of information from the other side that we can't really verify. So it's very in the gray. But the one thing that she did bring up that is actually a valid point is how criminally underpaid voice actors are as a whole.
Oof.
You know, a lot of these voice actors are not paid what they are worth relative to the amount of value they add to a game. It's a profession that's largely looked down upon. You know, even outside of video games, you have voice actors doing voiceover work for commercials and brand deals and other things like that. And just like we touched on last episode, a lot of companies are eager to go and grab the star power. You know, if you find somebody that has a recognizable voice that is also a celebrity, you know, Chris Pratt, for example, companies will go and hire that person specifically because of who they are on the big screen as a celebrity, rather than going to somebody who is properly trained and has spent, you know, countless hours of their life honing their voiceover craft, which is, you know, acting adjacent, but it's not the same as acting on stage or in front of a camera. It's a different kind of acting that goes into it. And a lot of these voice actors are either overlooked or underpaid.
Or they can be overlooked and
thing.
underpaid.
Mm-hmm.
Double whammy.
Yep. That's the one good thing that she brought out of this, was bringing attention to that. But I don't think that's what she set out to do.
Got you. Well, like I said, I hope when it's my time to shine, you know,
yep.
I like to think that I have strong social and people skills. And hopefully my demeanor and my raw power, voice acting wise, I hope that I'll be able to make a change. But I'll keep y'all posted on that, you know, as I go. You can actually see under my awesome photo. Hate to brag on myself, you know.
Brag on yourself, player.
You know what I'm saying? You know, you see that nice shot of me right there saying, "Hi guys." But yeah,
hey,
if you look under my picture, yeah, hi, how's it going? If you look under my photo, there's my Instagram handle at @the_Flanagan. It's Irish, but at @the_Flanagan King, the Flanagan King. So if you want to check out some of my voice work, go right ahead. I would love that. But yeah, anyways.
And if you want to hire him for some voice work, hit him up.
Yeah, you should. But back to what I was getting at, because you know me, I'll fly off into space and go party with the space ninjas.
Yeah.
I just hope that once it's my turn, once it's my turn to sit in the negotiation chair, I hope that, like I say, my raw power, my raw talent, and yes, I'm very proud. I've been practicing voiceover for over 20 years. So I hope that will give me some oomph, some push to where they'll be like, okay, this guy's the real deal. You know, shout out to Bad Bug, you know, passed away a couple years ago, but he said that about me and a couple other of my buddies who was playing League of Legends. Not for to go into that, but you know, this guy was watching us play League of Legends. We were at a LAN center. Shout out to the OG Land Sharks. And we were all sitting there playing, and my buddy Todd, aka Bad Bug, it's this guy looking at us, and he leans into the guy. He's like, "These guys are the real deal." So I like to coin myself as the real deal, voice over wise. That way, his memory carries on. But that's just a random thought. But that's my take on the voiceover Bayonetta controversy.
Yep.
And then now I'm really going to throw it to you and lurk in the shadows, because I said I was done and I'll pop back up. But go ahead, Lego.
If y'all want to get some more information on it, yep. If y'all want to get some more information on the situation, the guys over at the Yo Video Games podcast did a pretty good breakdown of it. It's about 45 minutes long, so they definitely got a lot more information than what we have time to go into today. But I know for a fact that our man BLJ has come up with some crazy off-the-wall question for us today.
Boy, we starting the question of the week 35 minutes in because of my ass. My bad, yo.
It's all your fault.
The same guy that always be like, I don't know if we'll be able to talk that much about this, but boom!
Yeah, right?
Well, this is some interesting topics today.
No, I'm into it. So, This particular episode is about Halloween. Yes.
Yeah, Halloween. It's right around the corner, boy.
Scary skeleton.
Well, my question is not too crazy this week, but it is Halloween related, kind of. So I just want to know, you guys, like, have you guys ever experienced like a scary movie or something scary that happened like in your childhood and you were able to conquer it as you got older?
Oh, you mean like a scary movie that scared the shit
scary
out of me?
Movie, cartoon, anything that really had you spooked as a young man, and now that you're older, you're able to like look past it, look through it.
Oh, I'm like, what the hell was I scared
that's super
for?
easy.
That type of thing? Oh yeah. Go ahead, Lambo. You can grab this one first.
Man, I'm gonna hit you with one of the OGs. I know y'all remember Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
So there's an episode where I think it's Eustace goes and steals a cursed slab that belonged to, it might have been Ramses, but one of the old Egyptian pharaohs, and his ghost turns up at the house at night wanting the slab back. And just the way, like, they had his spirit outside the house, like you could see him from the front door. He'd be like 50 feet away from the door, 50 yards, you know, about 45 meters for our foreign listeners. And he would just be like, just the really wispy way that he moved and the like really soft and ghostly way that he talked freaked me the hell out as a kid.
Oh man, I never knew.
Yep, that one and Space Kook from Scooby-Doo. His laugh freaked me out as a kid.
I
don't know if y'all remember Space Kook. I don't know if y'all are old enough for that.
I ain't even heard of Space Kook before.
Well, I'm older than you, but I still don't know what the hell, who or what Space Kook is. But he must have been one.
Did you watch the old Scooby-Doo back in the day?
I did, but I really didn't like it. Unpopular opinion.
Okay.
I couldn't really just pay attention to it.
Yeah. Well, Space Kook was he was a haunted astronaut that like he'd run around in his astronaut suit, and he just had a skeletal face, and inside his helmet would flash red, and he had this like crazy maniacal laugh, and that laugh freaked me out.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha.
What about you, Toro?
Man, so I'm gonna tell you what used to spooky boy said I conquered it. So I'm gonna take y'all back. I don't know how old I was, but we gon' this ain't even really a horror movie. Yeah, this ain't really a horror movie. Y'all might laugh at this. This is a popular music video, so y'all probably heard of it.
Music video?
Yeah. My man's got a music out here. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But soon as I give y'all the name of this group, y'all gonna know exactly what part I'm talking about. But Bone Thugs and Harmony, boy, when that you already know what I'm gonna talk about.
It's the song where I miss my Uncle Charles, y'all.
Yep. That's it. You know it, right? So let me tell you the story behind this. So here I am as a young lad in my living room. I think last episode I told y'all when we was talking about Van Damme being my friend that we had a big living room, and I'd be in the living room jumping around doing blood sport, choreography, kumite and stuff. Well, I still would run around in the living room and do my thing, you know. I was being babysat by my older cousin, and she was obnoxious. And that I wasn't even paying attention to that damn video. But it jumped to the part where Uncle Charles was in his yard with his nephew, and I think they was sitting on the porch talking about life or something. And that angel dude or whatever he was, he had on the black shades. He looked super intimidating, black trench coat. He walked up to Uncle Charles and touched that fool on the forehead, and that fool eyes go black, and that fool just dies. And then my cousin's like, see that? If you're bad, he's going to come get you. And that just ruined my whole day. That ruined my whole day. That ruined my whole week. That ruined like maybe a month. Like I was scared of that fool. Every time that video came on, I would run away from the living room. Like that video came on all the time. I was scared of that fool. Then one day I just, went to sleep, and then I just quit. It quit bothering me as much. But I was like, damn, I think about it now, and I'm like, damn, if that fool came after me because I was just being a kid, then that would have been rough. But nah, that shit scared the shit out of me. Like, he touched that fool's forehead, and he just went limp.
Legos.
Yeah, that fool was going around collecting all the souls. He leads them up to the Judgment Day or whatever. That shit scared the hell out of me. So yeah, a music video had me sweating because I thought that fool was going to appear out of nowhere and grab me. Oh, your time is up. What did I do? You was practicing blood sport moves in the living room. Let's go. Ah, man. So that was my little scare, I guess. But I'll tell y'all another part. Movie called Descent. The second one is trash. It doesn't exist. That's an alternate timeline. But the first Descent movie.
Mandela effect.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Natalie Mendoza. She's the amazing, beautiful actor that plays Juno. But at the end of the movie, spoiler alert, fast forward like a minute or two. That movie's been out for over 10 years. And if you sit there and tell me that you was going to watch it, then my bad. Like, skip past this part.
Toro, I was going to watch that movie.
At the very end of the movie,
dude?
I know, I don't know that, but at the very end of the movie, the main character, her name's Sarah. Sarah gets into it with Juno because of something Juno did. I won't spoil it.
Got pregnant.
And there are these crawlers. They look freaky as hell, but these crawlers are closing in on them, and they hunt by sound. They can't see. So Sarah used an ice pick. I think that's what it is. But she uses an ice pick, and she stabs Juno like in the thigh. And Juno screams out in pain, and Sarah leaves her there to die, even though they were best friends. And Sarah runs, and you see Juno, the badass she is, she pulls the ice pick out of her leg, and these crawlers are closing in on her. And it's about fucking 12 of those bitches. And you see Sarah running up the cave towards daylight, and you hear Juno screaming, like getting killed. So Sarah escapes, the only one out of that expedition team that escapes. And she escapes, and it's fresh air, and she runs, and she finds her vehicle. And she smashes the gas. And once she gets far enough away, like, she stops the car and she starts crying because of what she went through in the cave. And she rolls down the window and she starts throwing up. And once she finishes throwing up, she pulls her head back into the vehicle, and she turns and looks in the passenger seat, and Juno is sitting there looking at her all pale. And that shit, to this day, if I see that scene, it makes my side of my face freeze. I don't know why. Like, it gives me chills because it plays this eerie music, and Juno is sitting there looking at her because Juno is in the passenger seat. And Sarah screams, and the movie is over. So I highly recommend y'all check that movie out. It's called The Descent. It's really good. It ended good, and then somebody was like, I know, let's make a sequel. A shittier sequel with a less budget. And the second one is not good. So I really don't like the second one. I don't really count it. Somebody was just bored. No disrespect if one of the producers or developers of that movie listens to my podcast. No hard feelings. I hope you enjoying your stay. But that movie sucked. All right. I'm taking a back seat for real this time because it's like 43 minutes. My bad.
And 30 of them are you.
Damn it.
Oh man. All right. Well, I guess it's my turn. So
it is your turn, Shah.
I want to say before I go, the Courage the Cowardly Dog was a good one because I remember when I was a child, I used to. Well, okay. So man, I want to do this every episode, but I got to take y'all back into a time when I was just a young man. So check this out, right? Back when I used to live in Georgia, I didn't have the Cartoon Network channel, right? But my
disgraceful.
I know, right? But my uncle did, and like my mom would go to work, and she would take me to his house, And I'll be there while she's at work or whatever, and I would watch TV, and they had Cartoon Network, so I watched Cartoon Network. And Courage the Cowardly Dog would always come on, and I remember it was a few episodes. I can't remember all of them, but it was a few that really creeped me out. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, they had a lot of good ones.
Yeah, they had a lot of good ones that really creeped me out. But I want to say, all right, so do y'all remember the show Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Oh yeah.
Boy, man, I want to say something, but I've been talking too much. But boy,
you shut the hell up and sit down.
Maybe I'll save it to the end if I remember. But it's this episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark? And that mug scared me. BLJ, remember I told you about it, but boy, that mug was scary. All right, I'm going back. So radio silence.
I can't remember the full details of this episode, but I remember it was an episode where it was like, I don't know if it was like an alien or something. This dude was like, he was silver, and it looked like he had like a brain on the outside of his head or something. I don't know. It was creepy, right? But for some reason, that particular like image to this day, like I still have it in my head sometimes. It don't really scare me, but when I was younger, it really used to scare me, right? So what really added on to the fear factor of this like particular thing I'm talking about, where I used to watch TV at in my uncle's place, right? Like if you walk into the house, there's a living room, and it was a really small home. And if you keep going straight, there's the kitchen right after the living room. And then in the kitchen was the door that led to the backyard. Like you literally walk into the front door and just look straight through the backyard if the door was open. Like it was a really small home, you know what I mean? So anyways, the TV was in the living room, and it was in the corner of the living room. But if you were looking at TV and you were sitting in a chair watching TV, and if you just look to your right, you could see out the back door, right? So when I was younger,
spooky.
Yeah, so when I was younger, they used to like to keep the house cool. They'll keep the door open, but they'll have like the screen door closed, you know. So like if something is going on outside, you can hear it fully, but it's a screen door there, so the door's still closed, kind of. You know what I mean? So anyways, I remember like I'll be watching some TV shows like Courage the Cowardly Dog or Are You Afraid of the Dark or something, and I just remember that door would be right there, just kind of looking into my soul, like as a little kid, you can like if it's dark outside and you watching TV, and then that door is open, you just kind of feel like something's watching you if you're watching something creepy already. So I remember I used to just be really...
Anything could be out there, man.
I remember I used to be really creeped out just for that fact alone, that this door is like looking at me. And I used to watch TV door at the same time. Like, it was really creepy. And another creepy thing, which is not really creepy, but it's creepy now that I'm older and just thinking about it. They used to have this bed, and it had like 8 mattresses on top of it. I had to like climb in that bitch. Like that shit was high as hell. I don't even know why that was a thing. But when I think about it now, I was like, why did you have a bed that was so damn high? Anyways, thing number 2. I'm gonna go through these, right? There was an episode of Hey Arnold. You guys fan of Hey Arnold?
Oh, you talking about the haunted train conductor?
No. That was a good one. That's honorable mention for sure. But no, this episode where and side note, before I go into this, Hey Arnold is probably top 3 of my favorite cartoons ever. I'm just throwing that out there. I know it's not about that, but I love Hey Arnold. But anyways,
solid show.
Anyways, there was this one episode where, you know how in Hey Arnold they had their little town, and then like in the middle of the town there was like this little island. Well, it was one episode where Gerald, because you remember he used to tell stories all the time, he told his story about there was gold on the island, and the guy that used to have the gold, his name was Wheezing Ed. And his name was Wheezing Ed because I guess he had like a cough and he was always wheezing or whatever, you know what I mean? So anyways, the kids, they all decided to go to the island to, look for the gold. And, it's Helga, Arnold, Gerald, everybody, they're there looking for gold, and, kind of some creepy stuff happened, but nothing too crazy, right? So they go look and they don't find anything. And I remember they got on the boat to go back into town, and it was like kind of at nighttime, and they going back on the boat, and Arnold was like, I guess there really was no treasure out here after all, or something like that, he said, right? And then after that, it shows them going back into town on the boat. The camera pans in on the cave, like in the little island, and you can hear Wheezing Ed laughing. He was like, the whole time Wheezing Ed was never there. It was like it was a story like he was pretty much dead, So like they were in the cave looking for his treasure, but they can never find it. And you watching it, you thinking like he's dead, but when they like leave, the camera pans on it, and you can hear him laugh like. And I remember as a kid when he laughed, like that really spooked me. I was like, wow, he was really in there the whole time. Like I was legit like creeped out by that. So that was creepy from that show. And one last thing, right? And because my question was something that you conquered as you've gotten older, right? So I can't remember all the scary movies that I watched as a little kid, but I watched a couple of them, and they used to just scare the heebie-jeebies out of your boy. You know what I mean? And I was just to the point where I was like, man, I'm never watching scary movies ever again. Like, that's just not my thing. Like, that stayed with me till I was about 19 years old, actually. So as I led up to that, as time progressed, till I got to 19, like I remember I would meet girls and we'd go out on a date or whatever. They'd be like, hey, you want to watch a scary movie? I'd be like, nope. Not for me. Not watching that. Nope. Not for to watch that. Have me scared all night. Not for to have me thinking my shoulder all night. Nope. We're not doing that. I really used to be like,
hey, you want to watch a scary movie? Only if we can cuddle afterwards.
Yeah, but I really used to be like that. So anyways, one night, right? This was actually before I met Toronius. Fun fact, I've known Toronius for about, it's been like what, 12 years now, 13 years now, something like that. It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while right now. But anyways, one night, one night I was hanging out at home, right? And your boy was bored. I'm a homebody, and it's rare that I'm by myself and I get bored. You know what I mean? But this one night, I remember I was bored. I was up, I was playing whichever God of War was out at the time, and I was playing God of War. And it just kind of hit me. I was like, man, I want to do something else. I'm kind of bored, So I remember I was like thinking, like, what can I do? And sure enough, your boy went through the cell phone, looking up all the little honeys he had on speed dial. And I was like, let me take
all two of them.
All 200, So I remember I hit up a couple. I was like, hey, what are you doing? They busy or whatever. So I couldn't couldn't get with any of them. You know what I mean? So then I was like, well, man, what can I do? What does BLJ do at a time like this? So then I thought about it. I was like, man, maybe I'll go see a movie. And up until this point, I had never been to a movie by myself as well. Like, I always thought it was weird. I go to the movies and I see people in the movies by themselves. I was like, that's weird. Like, why would you go by yourself? So anyways, right? Time goes on, and I remember I looked at the movie list to see what was out. There was a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't want to see and didn't care about. But I looked, and one thing that I saw, I was like, man, there's a new Freddy movie out. And I was like, I'm definitely not seeing that because I'm scared of scary movies. Freddy's a scary guy. He's probably going to be hiding under my bed after I leave the movie theater. Definitely not going to put myself through that. You know what I mean? So anyways, after thinking about all the things that I could do and I couldn't find anything, I landed on going to the movies by myself, which was a first. And I was like, I don't like any of these other movies, but I'm going to try this Freddy movie out. A scary movie by myself. I don't know what was wrong with me that night. I literally did two things for the first time. At one time, movies by myself, scary movie by myself. I went to so I drove to the theater like a mile away from my house. I'm in here watching this scary movie at 19 years old. Oh, no, wait. I think I was like, I was 19. So I watched this movie, and it really wasn't even that scary. And I was like, wow, like all these years, I've been avoiding scary movies, and it's not really that bad, So from then, it sparked something in your boy. I started watching movies by myself all the time. And I started watching scary movies all the time. So to this day, I really enjoy going to the movies to watch scary movies, and just to throw like two of my favorite scary movies out there. But Sinister is one of my favorite movies. And
great movie.
That is what we spoke about it earlier. That's what Ethan Hawke, right? And he moves his family.
Ethan Hawke,
moves his family into this house, and then they find like this camera, like videotape roll in the attic, and it's basically showing footage of people being murdered in the house and stuff. But pretty good movie. And then I was a big fan of the Paranormal Activities, but then they got kind of weird as they kind of kept going. But I want to say one of my favorite ones, other than Sinister, is Insidious 1 and 2. They're pretty good. But yeah, those I guess that's something that I was scared of, and I kind of conquered as I, gotten older. And one thing, and this is my last one. One more thing, my last thing, right? So, have you guys ever heard of trypophobia?
Can't say that I have.
It rings a bell.
So
go ahead. I think we talking about the same thing, but tell me what it is, and I honestly let you know.
So trypophobia is like the fear of like holes, like deep holes. Okay,
no,
so
I was thinking about something else.
Yeah, so I don't know what it is, but if I look at something like, I don't know, like a honeycomb or like, I don't know, just something where like there's a whole bunch of little holes, but they're all bunched together and they like just these little black holes, like it really creeps your boy out. I'm talking about like your hair. I don't even got like, the hair just jumps up on my skin. I get goosebumps. Like just the sight of it really creeps me out, And to this day, it's just something that if I look at, if there's an image like that looks like that, or I don't know, I just see something like, I want to say even like, you guys ever been riding on the freeway and you see like a big like semi truck or whatever, and they have like they're hauling like a whole bunch of like pipes or something, like that, that creeps me out. Like it just really makes my skin crawl. And I won't say I'm scared of it. It just makes me have this uneasy feeling like in my whole body. Like it really creeps me out. So fun fact, if you guys ever want to creep BLJ out, just put a whole bunch of little deep holes together and just show it to me. It'll make me feel some type of way for sure.
A whole bunch of deep holes together?
Holes, yes.
Oh, yeah, holes, yeah.
But yeah, that's it though. That's my little, my little, yeah.
Gotcha.
But
well, speaking of scary stuff, we got some great news.
Great news.
Okay.
Great news. I know for a fact, because I believe we've touched on this before in a previous episode, that Toro is excited about the Resident Evil 4 remake, which we got a new trailer for that.
I am. I had to get that out. Yeah, I am. So I'm not a big Resident Evil fan. I think I told y'all this. I didn't get, a lot of people probably gonna think I'm a fraud because I didn't really get drawn in until they made the more action-oriented ones. RE4, that mug blew me away. So now they done dipped that mug in the swagoo because I was one of them dudes like, what the hell are they remaking it for? It's perfect. You can't make it any better. And then they slapped me in the face with this reveal trailer a couple of days ago. And I was like, all right, I'll shut up. I'll be quiet. You win. There is this part, and I'm going to get the editor extraordinaire with his godlike editing skills. Bring this up. Yes. Chainsaw Man is mad. He got bulging eyes out his potato sack or whatever he's doing. My boy tried to end Leon's life, and here I am. No, and then Leon looked back at the screen at me. Y'all didn't see this. I got the special trailer, but Leon looks back at me. Toro, don't worry. I got this. I picked up some new tricks while you were away. And then he picks up his knife, and he parries the chainsaw. And I'm like, oh, so blew me away. I'm like, yo, yikes. And I was so blown away. And I'm such a simp that they got on the TV and was like, hey, there's a collector's edition. You should buy it. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy it. So now,
buy our product.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have that fresh ass Leon statue because he got this shotgun, and I'm gonna flex with that mug. So I'm excited for that mug to come in. Like that game sold me. That's a really good game. Like, man, what'd you say? Lambo always for y'all that don't know, Lambo is my boy. You know, grew up in the same town, love for fighting games, etc., etc. Me and Lambo always button heads, you know, friendly wise, but he always take a crack at me. And I don't think he said it. I think he said it off the grid, but he said I have a man crush on Leon. So I just laugh at it. But Leon is one of my favorite characters.
Man crushes?
Right?
Oh
man, I did not have a man crush on him, but he's one of my favorite characters.
It's the hair.
And man, I just think he's a badass. And so this statue that they have, he's sitting there, and this jacket, man, that jacket is just, it's like I said when we were talking about our favorite costumes, I mentioned him on there as well. But that jacket has made a triumphant return, and he's wearing that jacket on the statue, and he's holding a shotgun, and he has this look of determination on his face. So I can't wait till that thing gets in. I have a buddy at my job. His name is Jeff, and he's slowly convincing me. He's slowly convincing me to collect statues and figures. I'm not rich. That's big money, Jeff. He got all the money, so I won't be able to catch up to his legacy. But I do see statues now, or figurines, or busts. It's all different types of merchandise. I see them, and I'll grab some of them, but this one was a must buy. So I can't wait till that thing gets here. I think is it the release date March of 2023?
Don't give me
so
a lie.
I still have a while. Yeah, it's March of 2023. I still have a while before it pops up. But I'm looking forward to that.
You have some time to admire that Leon statue from afar.
Leon.
But yeah, so we got Resident Evil 4, and then I'm pretty sure BLJ is excited about this one. Silent Hill 2 got announced that they're remaking that game.
Hey,
and it looks beautiful.
Hey, it does. But I want to just to add on to RE4. So I've never played RE4. The only Resident Evil I've ever played in the series is Resident Evil 5, and that just happened to be the one that was like an action game and not a scary game, Mm-hmm. But I will say this remake looks really delicious, and I may make that purchase to get RE4, man. It looks really good. Looks really good. So I definitely might try that out.
Yeah, they've definitely been putting out some good work with these Resident Evil remakes. Yeah. And I like that they're actually taking their time in between the games and not trying to just pump them out as fast as they can.
Right. I want to say all of them they've all looked good for sure. I didn't play any of them, but they all look really good.
I've never played any Resident Evil games outside of Code Veronica X, but I remember when Resident Evil 2 Remake came out, I was working security at the time, and I know you remember how much fun we had doing that and how much not free time we had to, we were always busy with work. We didn't have time to do anything else.
Busy.
Yeah. And I watched a Let's Play of Resident Evil 2 Remake, and man, that was a gorgeous game, and I was invested in that Let's Play. So they've definitely stepped the game up.
Yeah. But tell us more about Silent Hill. What were you going?
Well, are you not excited for Silent Hill 2? Because I'm excited about it.
That is also another game that I never played, but it did look pretty good.
See, okay, so I've played Silent Hill 2 for about 10 minutes, and then it scared the shit out of me, and I stopped playing it, and I never went back.
Okay.
Because I was probably like 10, maybe 12 at the time.
Yeah.
And like I had just got into Silent Hill, and they had the fixed camera angles and all the fog and everything, and you could hear the enemies and the ambiance around you, just setting the mood, and you're already on edge. And then I just remember walking around, and out of nowhere, these dogs just jumped at me and attacked me. And it scared the hell out of me to the point that I actually physically jumped and just turned the game off and never went back to it.
Yeah.
But I've heard nothing but great things about the first Silent Hill games, particularly 1 and 2, and even a bit of 3, which I have played some of 3 as well, but I only got the chance to play it at my uncle's house, so I never got to finish it. But I did put more time into that one. So I am eager to go back to the series, especially with this remake where it looks like they're just completely rebuilding it from the ground up.
Okay. You know, I too share the same experience with I think it's Resident Evil 2, the director's cut. The one that came out in like what, 95 or 96 or something like that. Same thing. So I wasn't playing that game, but at the time, it was somebody playing that game around me, and I remember it just creeped me all the way out, man. Like it added to the scary movie thing. And whenever they were playing it, the scariest part to me in the game, because I didn't watch all of it, but you know, in RE2, whenever you go through a door, the whole screen goes black and you just see this door in the middle of the screen. For some reason, that part every time really scared me because I didn't know what was behind the door. So, yeah, and that also went into why I never played scary games, horror games, up until I played RE5, because I was like, the same way with movies, I was like, I'm never playing scary games. I'm scarred from RE2, you know. And then when RE5 came out, I was like, man, let me try this game. You know, I'm a man up.
Yep.
I'm gonna play this horror game, and I'm gonna get through it. And I remember I went out and I bought it and I played it, and I was like, wow, that was a fun experience with no horror in it. You know. But I want to say, to praise it in the graphics department, for the time, the graphics for that game looked really good. Resident Evil 5.
I don't remember. Oh, Resident Evil 5.
Yeah, Resident Evil 5.
Yeah. Resident Evil 5 did look pretty good.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that was like I said, I share the same thing with you, like playing a game for a little bit and getting scared and never playing it again. So that definitely happened with me with RE2.
Which is funny because, like, now that I'm older, I just don't, like, horror games and movies tend to not really be scary for me anymore, which kind of makes them boring now. But that being said, there is a horror game that I did play that came out on PS3, and I thoroughly enjoyed this game. Like, it was a great time. I enjoyed the atmosphere, the ambiance, the story. It was in a unique setting, and I had a blast with it. And it's also getting a remake.
What is that?
So I'm really excited about that. That is Dead Space.
I've never played Dead Space, but I hear it's a pretty cool.
Dead Space is fantastic. I would highly recommend Dead Space to anybody that's even remotely interested in a horror game.
Yo, that mug got some of the most violent deaths I've ever seen,
it does.
Son.
It does.
Really? I gotta check it out.
But even the unique way they do the UI, where there isn't really a UI, like everything that would normally be on a heads-up display is represented on the character.
Oh, so like you can see the ammo on the gun and a life bar on his jacket or something?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, he's got like I don't remember exactly what it is, but there's basically a meter that runs along the spine of his gear. That's his health bar. And then he has I forget what it's called, but he has a utility power that he picks up that also puts another meter like on his right shoulder. And so you can see how much power you have left for that utility ability visually. And then when you look at the guns, they have a digital readout of how much ammo is left in the magazine.
Okay.
So there isn't a traditional heads-up display. And I really liked that. It really brought you even more into the world.
I gotta look up some gameplay on that. I've never played it. I don't think I've ever looked through a playthrough.
It's great.
Boy, let me tell you about this part. Boy, it's this part, boy, where you got to do this little thing where it's eyes. And if you do it wrong, the little drills go in your eyes and he yell out in pain, ah, and it's game over. It's terrible. But yeah, that game is traumatizing as hell.
Yeah, the death scenes are pretty brutal in that game.
Yeah, one more, man. This is wild. Boy, I'm back in character. Boy, he haunted by visions of his dead wife.
Oh, you're getting into spoiler territory now.
Oh, never mind. I'll be quiet.
I wasn't saying don't tell the story. We just gotta give that proper spoiler warning for people that ain't played it.
Boy, he gave me the green light.
If you don't want to know, go ahead and skip ahead about 2 minutes.
Leave.
Because with the remake coming out, if you haven't played it, I definitely would wait until you play it.
Well, anyways, spoiler alert. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boy, back to what I was saying. He haunted by visions of his dead wife, boy, through the whole game. And then it's this part, if you don't do it right, he just give up, boy, and he get this gun and boom, he wrecked himself and he lay on the ground. And you like, what the fuck just happened?
Yep.
That game is traumatizing. Like, straight up, that game is brutal. And now they finna remake that mug.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like I said about RE2. RE2 Remake, man, that mug got praised all around, right? But the death scenes did not even come close to the original PS1. When you used to get bodied on RE2, like what I was a wee lad, just like BLJ say, back when I was a young man, I was probably like, what, maybe like 10? I probably was younger than that. I was about 10 or 11. I popped in RE2 for the first time, didn't know what it was. That mug was weird because you had to hold R1 to aim your gun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little kid, so I don't know what the hell going on.
Back in the tank control days.
Yeah. I was going to say, you move all, like he moved like he in a box. Like it ain't no flowy movement. So I don't know how to shoot, and I'm moving like I'm in a box. Boy, I got Fat Carnival by like 4 or 5 zombies. And what I mean by Fat Carnival is this game on Xbox and arcade. It's called SBC Chaos. And there's this character on there named Earthquake. He's from the Samurai Showdown series. And his ultimate attack is called the Fat Carnival. And he drops down and like 2 of his other goons, and they all stomp you. Like they stomp you out. So that's what happened to me on RE2. Like I got, assaulted by like 3 or 4 zombies. And I finally died. Leon makes that noise, like he moans or whatever. And then the zombie gets on top of me and rip my damn neck out. And he screams, ah, little noise he makes. And then it says, you died. And here's the bad part. They show the zombie still eating on you and moaning and stuff while the camera zooms out. Why was a 10-year-old playing it? I don't know. But I cut that mug off and did not cut that mug back on till like years later. So I'm thinking back to what I was saying is Dead Space. I'm wondering if they're going to tone down the death scenes.
Oh, I doubt it.
One. You don't think they are? I don't know, man.
I doubt it.
I don't know.
I don't know why they would. It was an M-rated game first time around. I'm sure they're going for an M-rating again.
The same reason Resident Evil did. That's what I'm saying. Resident Evil did it too.
They toned them down?
I don't know. Yeah. The Resident Evil 2 scenes, they are nothing like the PS1. They tone them mugs down. When you get killed by a zombie, it dies down.
Well,
like you get killed and it like whites out. It'll just say you died.
Lame.
It's not like the OG. Yeah, it's not like it was.
Well, they are 2 different developers, so probably going to be 2 different mindsets on what to do there.
For sure.
Interesting.
Gotcha.
I'll be disappointed if they do tone them down.
I'm just letting you know.
I mean, as crazy as the Mortal Kombat fatalities have gotten recently, I really don't think there's a need to tone down the death animations in Dead Space.
I don't know. We'll see.
Definitely going to have to color shift them on YouTube, though.
You guys ever played Evil Within?
That's a good question. A buddy of mine played it. I watched him play it for a little bit, but I haven't played
it. So I forget exactly when this game came out. It came out a few years ago. And, oh, man, I don't want to admit this, but I'm going to admit
it. Come on, let it out. We're all men
here.
Oh,
you remember I said, when I played RE2 and it was really creepy, and that led me to never playing another scary game up until I decided to man up and get RE5, but RE5 just happened to be a action game and it wasn't scary at all. So
yeah,
I get Evil Within, right? Same thing. I was like, well, when I got RE5, it wasn't really that scary. And then I got RE6, and I remember I turned that game back in like the next day because it was super dumpster juice. But then I got Evil Within, man, and I was playing that game, man, and it really creeped me out. I turned that thing back in like the second day.
Yeah.
So
I thought I was ready for this. I wasn't ready.
And so like the very first like scene or the very first stage in the game, I can't even remember it like that because I remember I beat it, or maybe I didn't beat. I don't know, bro, but I was scared. So, anyways, it's basically like you're like in this like room and you're trying to escape from this guy that's walking around with the chainsaw or whatever, or something like that. And it was one thing that was really hard about it wasn't really that hard, I guess, but I was just too creeped out. But you know how most games where enemies, they walk a certain path or whatever, they walk the same path and you just know their pattern, and then it's like, all right, he's gonna do this, and then I sneak behind him, This dude took different paths every time. Yeah, and I was like, well, how do I get out of here? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I wish I could explain it more. I remember I played it for a little bit, and then I was like, fuck this. I'm taking it back. And I didn't finish it. So
noticing a pattern here.
Your boy's a big chicken out here. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, we all were at one point.
Man, but the thing about that was like, I don't know, like 5 years ago. It wasn't even that long ago. I was an adult. I was still Dang. I shouldn't even have said that. Dang.
Yep. Well, that actually leads me to a question I got for you guys.
What's that?
What is a horror game that you would like to see remade that you've never played so that you can experience it for the first time?
Yeah, I've never played.
Wait, what? So a game that I won't remade, but I've never played it to begin with?
Like a horror game that you've heard good things about and you've always wanted to play, but you would like to have them remake it and that be your first experience with it.
Let me think on that. That's a good question.
So
about you, BLJ.
There's a popular demo out there. I think it's called like PT or something like that.
Oh, yep. I know exactly which one you're talking about.
So
PT.
I'm pretty sure if that came out, it'll probably be the same story for me. I probably wouldn't play it myself. If anything, I watch a game. I probably watch a walkthrough video of it and watch it like that. I don't know if I play it by myself.
We'll turn all the lights on. It's gonna be like 2 p.m. and I'm gonna have my friend on the other line.
But no, that's one. It's not an official game, but it's a demo. But people always play the demo, and they're like, "This is amazing," and they need to make it a game. So that sounds pretty interesting.
And it was in the Silent Hill universe, if I remember correctly, too.
Okay, yeah, you may be right. I don't know. I don't remember it like that. Oh,
so I never played it, but I remember hearing great things about it.
Or like
it's part of the Silent Hill universe.
Oh, okay.
Because as far as I understand, the Silent Hill games are all part of the stories all go together, but each story follows a different person.
Okay.
So like, I forget the characters. Well, I think Silent Hill 2, the main character's name is James. I forget the main character in Silent Hill 1. And then Silent Hill 3, you play as the daughter of the main character from Silent Hill 1.
Okay.
And then like events from all the games tie into each other throughout the series.
Oh,
but they all follow different people.
Oh, okay. I never knew that. That's cool.
And then PT, like I said, if I remember correctly, PT was in the Silent Hill universe and was like kind of their tech demo / sneak peek at what the next Silent Hill game was going to be, and then they canceled it.
It just recently had a resurgence though, for some reason. I forget why. Wasn't it on like PS5?
Oh, did it?
Yeah, it was a couple months ago that somebody hacked it.
This is news to me.
Yeah, they like hacked it, and it was like way better graphics. I think it was on a PS5 or something.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it had a huge following, and a lot of people were looking forward to it and were disappointed when it got canceled.
Yeah, so I'm not too entirely sure, but it was a few months ago. Something happened, and somebody hacked it, or they put it onto a new, like, I don't know, engine on a PC or something like that. But people were playing it, but it was like just the graphics were way better.
Oh, probably Unreal Engine.
Yeah, that might have been it. Unreal Engine, yep, it might have been it.
So that's what you want to see? You want to see PT come to fruition?
Yeah, that's one I've heard a lot about, even though it's not even a full game.
Yeah.
I just feel like that would be a pretty good one to experience.
Fair enough. No, that's actually a good call.
Yep.
For me, I would like to see Fear remade. I never got to play it, but I always heard good things about it. I even had an ex of mine that she was really into horror games, and that was one of her favorites, and she told me a lot about that game, and I was like, man, that sounds fantastic, and I just never got a chance to play it.
So Fear, I never played it either. I had a friend of mine, this was in high school, because I remember that game came out when I was in high school, but one of my friends had the game, and I watched him play it, and it was pretty creepy. I don't know the storyline behind it, but I do know that it has something to do with the little girl that's like a ghost or something like that. And
and little kids are always the scariest.
I know. So there's parts in the game where you're just like, roaming around, and if you just turn a corner, the girl will just be there looking at you. It's pretty creepy.
Boy, I would have to keep a spare set of drawers handy.
Yeah, it was some pretty creepy moments. And they're very unexpected.
Just go ahead and order a new pack and just have it sitting on the couch next to you.
Yeah, and it's not even like it's a cut scene. It's like you're just walking around and she just be there,
Yep. Already on edge, just turn the corner.
Yep. So that was a pretty scary one. Now, I never played, but
that's one I would like to see.
Yeah. How about you, Toro?
What about you, Toro? Did you come up with one?
Man, I did not.
No?
I actually don't know. Nah, man, not that I haven't played. And now this is gonna sound like a lame answer because he said PT, but the only other type of scary game. It's funny that you mentioned it, but I haven't played Dead Space. So it would be Dead Space. I know about that game because I watched someone else play it for a little bit.
Yeah.
And I just got curious and looked up the death scenes. And I was just like, wow, like this is some rough stuff.
Yep.
This is not for the faint of heart because that guy, man, give that guy a hug after he completes his pilgrimage. Because damn, bro, like even if he doesn't die, let's say you go through the whole playthrough without him getting killed, he sees some jacked up stuff.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that would probably be the one.
Okay.
Hey, that's a fair answer. I'm always down to see more people getting into Dead Space and showing it some love.
Yeah, I've heard good things about it too. I might have to try it out one of these days and turn it back in after it gets too scary. So I don't know.
You could get to chapter 3, but nope.
Yep. I probably won't even make it chapter 3, depending on what's going on in chapter 1.
It's all right. I'll if you stream it, I'll sit there and I'll watch you play it, so you're not alone.
Here, that's just not your thing. So I got a question because, like I say, man, I feel like I've been soaking up the sun of this podcast, but horror game wise, or it doesn't necessarily have to be tied to a horror game. But what are some of the creepiest enemies or creepiest characters that y'all encountered on gaming as a whole? One of them, I'm going to throw it out there. They have these goons. Spoiler alert, even though Resident Evil 4 is an old ass game, they have these goons at the end of the game. They're called regenerators. That's what they're called. I hate them bitches. Them are some of the most creepiest enemies like I've ever seen. I am excited yet cautiously optimistic of how they're gonna make these dudes look in the remake. Cause man, they're these tall, lanky things. No promises, because Lambo might charge me or we might not be able to find an image. But I'm gonna try to get an image of a regenerator here. If we got it, cool. If not, I'll describe them to you. They're tall, like grayish, lanky creatures. And I believe they have like red eyes or something like that. But the creepiest thing about these guys, they have this weird labored breathing, almost like they're not whispering, but it's like whispered breath. It's staggered breathing, and they're coming after you. And if one of those things gets a hold of you and your life is low, remember I was talking about those violent deaths? They will latch onto your neck and they will bite a huge chunk out of your neck, and Leon makes this, what am I trying to say? This inhuman noise, and he falls to the ground and he bleeds out. I'm like, damn, homie, I did not mean for that to happen. But regenerators, them mugs, creep me out. And my second pick, this isn't actually a horror game, but the Killer Instinct remake, Hisako. Whose good idea, and by good I mean not good, whose grand idea was that to put her in the game? Because man, I don't know what they were thinking, but I am not a Hisako fan. And I believe when she wins, she gets all close to the screen and looks like she's about to jump out of the TV and makes her mouth all, like contorts her mouth and stretches it and screams.
Yeah, no. Her mouth gets about 2.5 feet wide.
Yeah, that's not my thing. Like, I'm like, not my type of character. So
especially because she has that like
if they want to creep people out,
that really erratic, jerky movement.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, Hisako, she's based on the girl from The Ring. So if you've seen The Ring, that kind of movement.
Yeah, definitely not compatible.
I will say that is some great character design, because they obviously made her after a horror character, and if you have that feeling about her, then they did their job.
That's what I was just going to say. I give him props on that, because that's not my thing.
And I think she plays well. After watching some gameplay on her, like, you know, she looks cool. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I get it. She's super creepy.
She's one of the more popular characters in the game, and also one of the higher tier characters in the game as well.
Okay.
She's definitely earned her place as far as the new characters in KI go.
Yeah, no, she's really good. Good addition. I remember when I first saw her, I was pretty impressed. Like, I was not expecting that.
Yep, she's got some crazy combos too.
Yep.
But that whole game is full of crazy combos, so.
I know. I love it.
Which is why you need to play it, BLJ.
Yeah, if I had an Xbox now.
Need to get you a PC, you could play it on there.
If only I had a PC.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Get you one.
Boy, rich like y'all got the PCs and the...
Step your game up. It ain't about, what's that you said? It ain't about being rich, it's how you use it.
I said that?
Yeah, I believe you did. Before Evo. Was you talking about?
Yep, you sure
talking
did.
about how often you
I
go
said
to
the
Evo.
privileges of the rich.
Oh man, you got a good memory. That was some months ago. My boy bringing it back on me, boy. I can't say nothing. Right? But yeah, nah. That's a really good game though. That's one of the few like games that I look up tournament footage of to this day just to look at it. I think it's a really well put together game. You know what I mean?
Yep. And fun fact, a lot of those characters in Killer Instinct are based on horror movie tropes. You've got Saberwolf, the werewolf, obviously, from old school horror movies. You have Fulgor the robot, which is based on the Terminator. You've got, what is his name? Kon Ra, based on the Mummy. You've got Mira being a vampire. You've got, man, what the hell was her name? Hisako, based on The Ring.
Yep.
So and that's just a handful. A lot of them are based on horror movie characters.
I never knew that. That makes sense, though. Never knew that, though.
Yeah, it's something that I didn't know. Like, as much as I've played Killer Instinct, I didn't even notice that until somebody pointed it out to me. I was like, oh, shit. You sure right.
Right. Is there any more horror games that really got under you guys' skin? I got one more.
Man, to answer Toro's
I'm
question,
it out, man, because I'm not really the horror game guy, but I just figured I'd contribute. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought that I was gonna be in the back of the bus, this go round, but I've been on her, so I'm trying to, kick back. But I'm winding down now.
I got one last one. I got one last one. So
we'll give our last ones and we'll wrap it up.
My last one is actually The Last of Us, the first one. So that wasn't a scary game, and I really thought it would be. Like when I saw like what was leading up to it, I was like, all right, a game with zombies, even though they're infected with some kind of virus, but they look like zombies. And I will say there's some parts where it's kind of dark and you're maneuvering around them, and it's kind of it can be creepy, But there's one level where you have to open a door or something like that, but there's no power, but you have to go down in the basement of like a hotel or something. And it is super dark, and all these infected are like running around you, and you can't see them, but you have to go find a generator to open the door. That level was creepy, for sure. That's probably it though. That's the only last one I got, man.
Just walking around in the dark, and then all of a sudden your flashlight hits one of the infected, and you just freeze. And
I just remember that level because so like in certain levels like that, you can like run around and maybe find extra ammo or something. I ain't even trying to do that. I'll just run around. Like, where can I find this key card at so I can get out of here? Like I ain't do
just straight in, straight out.
No exploration for me. I ran straight in, straight out. Nope. And I was like, I need to.
Got to return this game tomorrow.
I actually kept that one. I kept it. But yeah, no, that's the last one for me though.
For me, and this isn't a horror game, I'm going to bring it back to Warframe. There is a quest in that game that is very horror themed, where they put you on an abandoned ship. And when you get there, the ship is just torn apart. There's blood all over the walls. There are messages written in blood on the floor and on the walls. The lights are flickering. A lot of the areas are dark. And you just hear like this scratching on the walls, and you hear people running around, but you never see anybody. And when you finish that quest line, as a huge spoiler warning for the Warframe story, when you finish that quest line, you meet a character known as Rel, and he refers to the man in the wall all the time. And Rel is... So in that game, you can customize what your character looks like. Rel looks exactly like you, but he's like dark and shadowy. And once you finish that quest line, when you go back to your spaceship, he'll just be on the spaceship randomly, and he'll just be like, "Hey, kiddo," and then he'll just disappear into the ether. And every time you come back to your ship, there's a small chance that he's going to pop up, and he's always in a different place. Sometimes he'll be sitting on your computer console, and like as soon as you get back on your ship and you turn around, he's there in your face, and you turn around and, "Hey, kiddo," and then disappears, and it freaks me out every fucking time. And sometimes he'll be further into the ship, and you'll just see him like peeking around a corner.
Yeah.
And all you can see is like the top of his head and his eyes, and his nose is cut off, peeking around the corner. And then when you get close, he's gone.
Okay.
And that every time, like it doesn't scare the shit out of me, but it's that like make your hair stand up on the back of your neck.
Right.
Gives you the chills every time.
I got you.
I don't know where they decided to bring horror element into that story.
Oh man. What about you, Toro?
But yeah, that whole quest line and that character.
Yeah.
Toro gave us his.
What about me?
The regenerators.
Yeah, I'm out. Yeah, I'm out.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I told you I've been spinning on my head this whole episode.
Well,
so
one last question for you, Toronius. To wind us down, to park the party bus, as you like to say. Earlier I mentioned, are you afraid of the dark? And you said you had a brief story for us. What was that all about?
Oh boy, you done got me winding up. All right. I was about to park the
got
party
another 45
bus,
minutes on this episode like now.
Nah, because I know people probably listening like, damn, hurry up. But nah. So there's this episode, and I'm gonna swing around the block by two more times, y'all. Just bear with me. I'm just gonna swing on a party bus. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just kick it with me right quick. I can't remember the name of this episode, but it scared the shit out of me. I'm gonna tell you why. So, it's early 90s horror. Are you afraid of the dark? You'll think it's corny now, but back then, it was all that in a bag of chips. These two guys are exploring this graveyard, and it's in the morning, and they walking around the graveyard just playing pranks on each other or whatever. They see this young lady in the graveyard paying her respects, and one of the guys thinks it would be funny to pop out and scare her, and the other one is reserved about it, like, I don't know. So the prankster scares her, and she gets mad, and she's like, "You do this to everybody?" And the reserved guy instantly starts crushing on her. Like, he knew it was a bad idea, and he apologizes. So they get her name, and they befriend her. And this is early 90s shows, so they become friends really fast. And she doesn't call him a creep or I'm uncomfortable or nothing, because back then, people's intentions were really pure. Like, yo, let us get to know you. We're cool. You're cool. Let's go on adventures. So they recruit her. Think of it like a classic RPG where you meet somebody and you exchange names and y'all fist bump, and now she's a part of the team. So they start hanging out with her. She's in the cemetery. They start asking her who she is, how long has she been in this town, and then the prankster's like, "Did you hear about the legend of something, something, something?" Like, I know this episode, but I forgot what the specific legend was. And I'm gonna try to be light on this. Well, I can't be light on the spoilers because I'm gonna tell you the plot twist at the end.
Well, the one about the groundskeeper?
Oh, no, not this one. So they tell her the legend of this girl. She was going to prom, and her boyfriend was supposed to pick her up, and they're trying to scare her, obviously, because she was poking around in the cemetery. Apparently, the girl was waiting for her boyfriend, and I don't know why she was waiting for him in front of the cemetery, but she's being picked up at the cemetery. I guess back then the cemetery wasn't too far from her house. Well, it started to get foggy. It got super foggy outside, and her boyfriend was late. And I guess he was rushing to pick her up or whatever, and he accidentally hit her. Like, he struck her with a vehicle and hit her. or something like that. And he was grief stricken that he did that. And he drives his car. It was a badass car. It's one of those old fashioned cars. He drives that car into like the lake or something. And that fool kills himself. Kind of dark stuff for a 90s Nickelodeon
for
show.
Kids.
But that show was that show was the shit. So we're going to fast forward. I don't have a fast forward noise. I'll think of one later. We're going to fast forward past that episode. And we're going to get to the plot twist at the end. They're going around with this girl and trying to figure out what happened to her because that girl was interested in that story. And she's big into, aren't they called mediums? The people who speak to the dead. She's big into that, talking about maybe they could reunite the two lovers. And the prankster's like, you can't be serious. But the reserve one, he likes her. So he's trying to help her see if there's something they can do. So long story short, at the end of the episode, the night that the girl died and she was supposed to be picked up to prom, somehow they communicated with the guy who drove in the river. And he comes out of the river or the lake or whatever. And they all get scared. And here's the crazy part. The prankster and the reserve dude are scared, and they turn around, and that chick is in a prom dress. And she spins around, and she looks at him and say, I would have never been able to do this without you guys. Like, I couldn't leave the graveyard unless I went with someone else from the living world. And y'all helped me communicate to him to come pick me up. And she gets in the car, and the dude who drove in the lake, he got this badass white suit on. He don't look dead or decayed or nothing. He looks at the two dudes and he gives them the thumbs up, and they drive away in the fucking fog. And that episode scared the pants off me. I said, oh, plot twist. So that was a great episode. I can't remember the name of the episode, but your boy in his mid-30s. I probably watched that episode when I was, again, like probably 8 or 9. I remember that episode to this day. That's how much of an impact that mug had on me.
So I'm going to jump in with the assist real quick.
Oh, yeah.
That episode is called The Tale of the Prom Queen.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Figures. But yeah, that mug spooked me. It's really good. I wish there was a way you could watch it now. I think
you could probably find it somewhere.
Some type of, that's a good episode. So I'm going to end it on that. I hope y'all were entertained by our Halloween episode. We didn't really talk about candy corn, which is nasty, by the way.
Candy corn's disgusting.
Candy corn is amazing. I said a whole
boy. We knew it was something wrong with you
2 days ago.
Boy,
these Arizona boys.
Boy, yeah, it's something, boy.
No, y'all on that weird stuff. I like the candy corn, and then I like the candy pumpkins. You know the pumpkin candy corn? Delicious.
What?
Yes.
That's disgusting.
Y'all tripping. Continue, man.
No, we just like good candy.
No, y'all like nasty candy.
We don't like none of that plastic candy.
Boy, that stuff is delicious.
Thumbs down to people who eat candy corn. Keep that mess
whatever
over there.
Whatever that
stuff's gross.
Whatever
that. Yeah. Well, yeah, y'all can't see me, but I'm actually parking the party wagon right now. I want to thank all y'all who tuned in. Every time I say that an episode is going to be short, I eat my words. I'm proven wrong once again,
time.
And it's my fault. I'm the culprit this time. So maybe I should quit saying that, because I thought this mug was going to be like an hour. Like, Halloween.
Hey, guys, we're only going to be able to get a 35-minute episode out of this.
That's it. Look, man, I called it wrong. Yep. But thank y'all so much for hanging out with us, man. We really hope that y'all enjoyed our banner. Like I said, this is what we do. It's been an honor.
Always.
And I think I've told y'all before, but I'm going to remind y'all. The meaning behind our name, thank you for playing. It's a thank you to all of you every episode. Thank you for playing video games, of course. And thank you for playing this podcast. So the minute you hit play and you hear that badass song, we're thanking you for taking time out of your day to pull up a virtual chair and hang out with us. So thank you once again. It's been an honor, and I'm going to leave it to the squad.
Lambonius.
Hey, you know what it is. Just make sure to subscribe, like, comment, tell your friends, especially you, Sarah. You know, let everybody know we pretty cool guys.
2 weeks in a row. Name drop. 2 weeks in a row. Well, Lambo is not playing.
We know y'all like to hang out with us. We know your friends would like to hang out with us. Tell them to grab their virtual chair and come on.
Interesting.
You heard it here first.
I'm going to keep it short and sweet. To some of you guys that, you know, heard me say that I play these games and I put them away because I'm too chicken, you know, let me know what games that are scary that are out there that I ain't gonna even say that I should pick up because I'm not gonna pick it up, but I'll still watch a playthrough of it and I'll tell you what the playthrough felt like for me, you know? But yeah, until next time, you know, thank you for playing, and I guess we'll talk to you guys soon.
All right, let's go play some Alien Isolation.
Let's go eat some candy corn. How about that?
I'm down.
Hell no.
No. Turn this off. No.
All right,
later.